Welcome to the Social Intelligence Podcast by Creation.co, where our AI hosts explore fresh social intelligence research from our team. I'm Jessica Fernandes, a research analyst at Creation.co, and this week our two AI hosts will be diving into some research I recently did.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into how social media intelligence can signal blockbuster success. BMS's Opdivo, written by Jessica Fernandes, analyst at Creation.co. In this deep dive, well, it's going to show you how really getting the digital pulse of healthcare professionals, HCPs, through social media intelligence. That means, analyzing their public online conversations. It's not just some trend. It can actually be a real shortcut to getting informed about key industry moves, maybe even seeing them coming.
Okay, a shortcut. That sounds ambitious. How exactly can looking at social media posts give such deep insights into something as complex as pharma success? It sounds almost too easy, doesn't it?
Well, think about it. Imagine knowing a drug might be a blockbuster before all the official sales figures roll in. Our first insight from the article unpacks this with Opdivo. It highlights that something like 52%, over half, of all global HCP social media chat about Bristol-Myers Squibb, BMS, was just about Opdivo.
Wow, 52%.
Yeah. And it wasn't just random chatter. It was this huge digital signal, really, across lots of cancer types, basically cementing its future blockbuster status early on.
And what's really interesting there is the real-time nature of it. You see discussions around big conferences, right? The positive feeling about Opdivo was, well, hard to miss. You had doctors calling new regimens game changers in renal cancer, and posts about landmark data in lung cancer just took off online, got tons of shares, impressions. That kind of online vibe, that sentiment, it powerfully signals how well a drug might be adopted, way ahead of the curve.
So it's not just predicting the hits, but maybe also flagging potential issues. That's really useful. How does that work? Foreshadowing uptake, or maybe even hesitancy?
Exactly. Let's look at April 2025. The FDA approved Opdivo and Yervoy for two cancers, metastatic colorectal CRC and unresectable liver cancer, HCC. Now, the big challenge for pharma companies is always trying to figure out how doctors will actually use a drug, what problems they might see before it even gets the official okay.
Right. You want to know beforehand.
Precisely. And social listening, tracking these online conversations is perfect for this. Months earlier, back in January 2025, we saw this clear spike in HCP talk. It was right around a big GI cancers meeting, ASCO GI. Doctors were already online picking apart the latest trial data.
Okay, and what did that early online chatter show? Was it all positive, or were reactions different depending on the cancer type?
That's the key. They were different. For colorectal cancer, HCPs seemed to jump on board pretty quickly. They kept mentioning its favorable safety profile.
Okay, positive signals there.
But for the liver cancer, HCC, the reactions were, well, noticeably mixed. Some doctors praised it, sure, but others were already voicing concerns about toxicity.
Ah, so red flags appearing early.
Definitely. And these weren't just minor quibbles. These early online signals really foreshadowed potential issues with uptake. We saw these toxicity concerns keep coming up even after the FDA approval. Some HCPs were even saying online they might stick with older regimens, like Roche's, because of it. So looking at how much they talk, the share of voice plus the feeling, the sentiment gives you crucial clues about value and adoption.
That's a massive strategic edge. It's like getting free, real-time consulting from the frontline clinicians. Does this kind of insight apply to planning trials too?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the treatment landscape changes constantly, right? New trials, new data all the time. The challenge is making sure your next trial isn't just good science, but something doctors actually find credible and relevant for their patients. Will they accept it?
Yeah, makes sense. You need their buy-in.
And online HCP discussions give you that feedback directly.
Like what? Can you give an example?
Sure. The article mentions several HCPs online questioning why sorafenib was still being used as the comparison drug, the control arm, in some HCC trials. They were pretty blunt, calling it an inferior first-line option.
Wow, okay. Straight from the source.
Exactly. That kind of specific, practical feedback is gold. It helps companies refine future trial designs, choose better comparisons, maybe different endpoints. It makes the trials more credible, more accepted by doctors, which ultimately leads to, well, better research that actually matters in practice.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what's the big message here for pharma leaders? It sounds like these online HCP conversations are much more than just background noise. They reflect and even kind of predict major shifts.
It really reframes things, doesn't it? If you have this immediate, detailed insight available, how should leaders adjust their strategy?
Well, it suggests a few key actions. First, you absolutely need to be proactively tracking these conversations. It lets you respond to worries or maybe correct misunderstandings almost instantly. Second, use the feedback. Understand how doctors see your drug versus the competition and use their own words, their own priorities to differentiate it clearly. And third, identify those influential online voices, the digital opinion leaders, or DLs. Engaging them authentically can really help accelerate uptake through peer-to-peer influence.
So it's about shifting from being reactive to being genuinely anticipatory, using these insights not just for marketing, but to ultimately get innovative treatments to patients faster. That's quite a profound change.
It really is, and it makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If we can truly tap into this collective digital medical mind, how might that reshape not just a single drug launch, but the whole future approach to patient care? Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. To read this article or explore more insights from the world's most comprehensive social listening, visit creation.co. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep listening.